Welcome back to KTN Financial Markets Live. And like I did mention at the beginning of the show, today we're joined by Safaricom CEO Michael Joseph. Many thanks for coming in for the first time this year.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to bring you straight into the thick of things. A lot of the smaller operators complaining that the Safaricom's position as a dominant player needs regulatory interpretation, specifically as concerns 3G and the termination rate of calls. I don't know, how would you weigh in on this?
Well, it's a difficult one. First of all, we got to where we are not by helping. Nobody helped us to get to where we are. When we started out in 2000, there were two of us. What's now Zain started together with us, and we had the same opportunities, the same market, the same technology to do what we have. So what we have to do, we have just got bigger because because we are better.
Right.
The other two operators come in later. When they did come in later, in 2007, they knew what they were getting into. They knew that there were two operators here already. One was quite dominant at that point. So I'm not sure why subsequently now they start to complain about that we're too big. I agree that we are a dominant operator. I am absolutely, there's no question about it. If you have 80% market share, you're dominant. But what I don't agree with is being penalized for our success. Right. I agree that if we abuse our dominance, then we should be penalized. But as long as we're not abusing our dominance, we should not be penalized. And things like interconnection rates are not set by us, it's set by the regulator,
yes,
based on cost. And as long as the cost, the interconnection rate is above our cost, I don't have a problem with it coming down. And I've said it publicly many times. The issue of the 3G license, 2 years ago, the government decided that they wanted to sell the 3G license for $25 million. We were quite happy to pay that $25 million. It was a lot of money, but we believed it was worthwhile. So we paid the money, and we've rolled out our 3G network. And now our competitors are saying it's too much because we've got too much of a head start. But they had the same opportunities that we had. So if somebody wants to lower the license fee, I'm happy for them to lower the license fee, as long as it's applicable to us as well.
One of the operators, Orange CEO Mikhail Gasayan, saying, in fact, since October 2007, when you got the 3G license, until now, you should have already recouped your costs, and therefore the other operators should not have to pay for the 3G license, but instead get into a revenue sharing model with the CCK.
I haven't heard that yet, and I don't have a problem with that. But it's got nothing to do with the recouping our costs. When we started in 2007, the 3G license was offered to all four operators. Only we took it up.
Right.
So why should we be penalized, for us taking the opportunity and providing, by the way, broadband network across to many, many parts of Kenya? I think they should either pay the license fee and get going and compete with us, or the CCK should decide that the license fee should be reduced for everybody, including ourselves.
So you think right now, how do we get out of this 3G license debacle where the other operators want to get in, but I think that $25 million?
It's not a debacle. It's not a debacle. It's clear. This is what the government set the license fee at. It's like when people came in for the 2G license, it was $55 million. Everybody paid it. Even Orange and you paid $55 million for their license fee.
Yes.
So therefore, it's the same for everybody. There's not a debacle here. It's just that because we are much bigger than everybody else, people start to find a way, how can they restrict us so that they can do better? What I'm suggesting is, why don't they just get on with it, build their 3G network, so they can compete effectively on the same terms as we are.
All right, let's now turn back to Safaricom, the business. How do you see this year panning out? Where do you see yourselves right now?
Well, I think the next big thing for us, other than still expanding our physical coverage, because we still have room to grow in going to more areas in Kenya, is obviously data. Data is going to become a very much bigger play for Safaricom, as well as for everybody else. If you think about it, we have 35 million people in Kenya. Less than 10% of those people, or maybe even 5%, have access to the internet. And people deserve to have access to the internet, just like you and I do. Right. And I think that is, being able to provide that access to the internet is going to be the next big thing for us. And the key drivers here are going to have a broadband network, which everybody wants to get into, and bring a low-cost device so people can browse the internet.
All right. What percentage of your subscribers currently use your data services? And this is a question we actually got from a Twitter user, Karim254.
It's many. I mean, right now, about 2 million a day are using our 3G data services on a daily basis, and that's out of 15.3 million customers.
All right, but let's concentrate a little on the voice business. I don't know what your estimation of your quality is or your analysis of it, but there's a lot of questions coming up concerning the quality of that. And some even ask, why would you want to go into, say, data and expanding your coverage when the key thing here, which is the quality of your voice business, might be deteriorating?
Well, I disagree with him, of course. I disagree with him. The quality of our network is not bad. It's not wonderful. I'm not saying it's perfect in every single area. Our biggest challenge that we have and always have had is in Nairobi. Currently, what we're doing in Nairobi, and this has impacted quality in Nairobi, is we're replacing all of the technology in Nairobi at the moment. Replacing equipment under live conditions is much more difficult than doing it when nobody's on the air. I expect we have another month to go, and then the network will be up to where it should be. If you look at our quality measurements, the KPIs that we have to adhere to from the regulator point of view, plus our own internal KPIs, we meet all of those KPIs.
You meet the regulator and internal KPIs.
And internal KPIs. Now, if you take an individual cell site at a particular time of day, we may not. And that's just a measure of the success of our network. If you go to any other network in the world, they all have similar challenges to what we have. You have a very set spectrum that you can use, and you have so many subscribers using it at any one time. So Friday afternoon, after 5 o'clock, when everybody goes home, a lot of people use the network. And therefore, at some point, we may have congestion. But if you measure us on a network-wide basis, we still meet the KPIs. And by the way, I'm not saying that's acceptable to us. It's not acceptable. That's why we are improving our network. That's one of the reasons why we rolled out our 3G network, because you can put more voice calls on a 3G network than we can on a 2G network.
Right, but also something that's coming up about this is, I'd like to move away from that just very slightly and go to m-pesa as a business. It's widely successful, no doubt about that. I asked you this last and I want to bring it back again. Will it be a standalone product at some point?
It may become one, but I cannot say when. Right now, it will not be a standalone product. It will still be part of Safaricom.